In my lecture, I'll be discussing the issues between corporate social responsibility and effectiveness measurement. What it means is basically looking at social responsibility from a corporation's point of view. Corporate social responsibility is a very important concept. Why is it so important? It's simply, I'll take a very good example, happened last night. There was a lot of news coverage about many corporations not taking social responsibility to the level of paying tax. Tax avoidance schemes are very common in many Western developed countries, from Australia and in the UK. Many of the corporations try to minimize tax by avoiding tax. Yet, they do not realize that tax avoidance is a social responsibility of corporations, because paying taxes would mean that the government is able to provide all the services and social welfare benefits for and look after our NHS and so forth. In terms of effectiveness measurement and social responsibility, I'm looking at effectiveness as one aspect. Effectiveness can be measured. Now, when I talk about effectiveness, it's different from efficiency. Efficiency is easy to measure because you use financial indicators, but effectiveness is quite a subjective, least delineated construct. What I meant by that is that it is very hard to measure. Now, I use perceptions of effectiveness. So I find out how does like a school, parents feel about the school in different aspects, and I quantify that in a statistical way to come up with an effectiveness index. Now that is how I started off. I have developed a consultancy for school effectiveness at the moment at Leeds Beckett, and I hope to build upon it further to provide a service to schools so that they can see how effective the schools are in terms of many aspects of the school's operation. I started off looking at Australia for the start, because that's where I came from, followed by UK, and I did the top 20 companies in the UK. I also looked in the top 50 companies in Indonesia. I recently, in the last few years, have been concentrating on Nigeria, on their social responsibility activities. Now, the interesting differences between them is based on the cultural perspectives of what is CSR. Looking at the reporting perspectives, depending on what sort of society we live in, they have different levels of how much to report and who to report to. So there are these remarkable differences that I've noticed and observed within these few countries that I've worked in. I travel to Nigeria quite a number of times in a year, about 4 or 5 times a year. And I do speak to a lot of senior politicians, some of them who are my students at PhD level, at senators and all. And in this country, Nigeria, it's a very new developing economy. It's going to be one of the most populous countries in the whole of Africa. And the sustainability reporting of corporations is changing quite a bit. And I like to be involved in that part of research so that how our knowledge in the Western world, in the UK and Europe, can be applied or replicated or modified in Nigeria. And this is an area of research that I hope to continue for the next few years, and hopefully Leeds Beckett would make an impact to their changes in their systems, policies. Most definitely the highlight of my career so far is my appointment as a professor at Leeds Beckett. It gives me that credibility and the respectability that the university has bestowed this appointment on me. And I've enjoyed every day of my career in Leeds Beckett because of the support, the environment, the research, the ambience, and also the collegiality among staff and students that propels me to achieve at the highest level I could achieve. And I'm glad that I have achieved this appointment as a professor. I hope I will do Leeds Beckett proud over the next few years as I build my career